Okay, that concludes the Series 3 restoration project. And I have to say, it came out spectacular. So in this video, you'll get to see the entire process from the initial teardown, dismantling the vehicle into all of its individual components, all the way to assembly, figuring out the transmission adapter for the 5-speed, and finally with the finished product and the final test drive. So I hope you enjoy. This 1973 Series 3 Land Rover was owned by a doctor in Vermont. When we purchased it, it had not been running for years. We unloaded it into the barn and began the teardown. The good thing about this Land Rover was that it had all of its original parts, including the very rare NADA lights. It also had perfect body panels. The fenders and tub were very straight, with no major corrosion. The vehicle was separated into all of its individual components, so that everything could be rebuilt and restored. All the steel parts and cappings were brought to the sandblaster to have the rust and old galvanizing removed. Any problems yet, or still so far so good?
It's actually looking nice and solid.
The bulkhead and dash were dismantled down to their individual parts. Bad though. Certainly seen worse. No, this is a good bulkhead. It's usually up here you'll see rot, like on the inside. It's got some down here, but it's all the important places are solid so far. The bulkhead was sandblasted, seam sealed, and prepped for paint. We also sent the engine down to the machine shop to be rebuilt. While we were waiting for the parts to come back from paint and machining, we began assembling the axles.
Blue swivel ball. Blue bush. Ready? Where's it going? Okay, back off.
Series Land Rover rear axles are a known weak point, so we used Ashcroft high-strength 24-spline axles. Once the rolling chassis was assembled with four-wheel disc brakes, we dropped in the freshly rebuilt motor. This motor is unique because it is the first series engine we have ever installed electronic fuel injection on. Gotta go forward a little bit on this side. Yep, there you go. Okay, go down. We then bolted the Ashcroft rebuilt R380 5-speed transmission to the original series transfer case using an Ashcroft adapter. Alright, so we have 5 shims in the kit, and I'm going to use 3. I'm going to leave the thickest out and the thinnest out, and I'm going to use the other 3, so that's our baseline. That's it, go into that groove. Yeah, that's how you do it. When you let go of that slave, it's pretty balanced, okay. It made it up to the original series engine perfectly. All the parts had come back from the galvanizer and could now be processed. Okay, so what we're doing is we just got the parts for 5 of our current projects galvanized, and now we need to sort everything so that the holes can be drilled out to the proper size, because you can see the galvanizing is actually causing the holes to close up. They were prepared for riveting to the body panels, which had also come back from the paint shop. We now began the most exciting part of the project, assembling the body.
hardware that comes with it.
And she's got a face.
The finished restoration is stunning. Okay, so we've just completed the Series 3 project, and this project has had so many firsts for us. It was the first project that we've used EFI on, so electronic fuel injection. It was the first project that we've used a Defender 5-speed in. It has so many unique features. It has air conditioning, it has 4-wheel disc brakes. It's just been, I guess, what you could really call the ultimate Series 3 in a lot of ways. There was almost no body damage at all. So when you look at these fenders, the fit and finish here is impeccable. And that's because these panels are all original Land Rover. And you see these nice lines here. That's really important. And you can see all of the original spot welds are still in place. You don't see that on body panels that have had a lot of damage and there's been a lot of filler work. So on this truck, all of the spot welds are in place throughout. All down here, these are a very vulnerable part of the fender here, and it's literally like the way it came from the factory. And speaking of factory, this Land Rover aesthetically is as close to factory spec as we can get it. We have all of the original type lights, which are an NADA only feature, a North America dollar area feature. Had these large lights that were a requirement for the roads in the US. The lights on the rest of world trucks were small like this, and here in the US we just required something a little bit more visible. So we have all of these original lights on the side marker lights here. You'll never find these on any rest of world or UK spec vehicles, only on the North American spec vehicles do you find that. So we've went through great, really great lengths to preserve the originality of this vehicle. All the rivets on the panels here are original because this had factory seat belts in the rear jump seats, something again that no other rest of world vehicles had. So there's actually brackets under here that hold the seat belts, and they were riveted right to the quarter panel. So you just have all of these very original features on this truck that make it unique in regards to all other Series 3s. An NADA Series 3 is really a unique vehicle. All right, so I'm gonna go on a test drive in the Land Rover, and we'll go ahead and start it up. It sounds great, so let's key it on. You'll hear the electric fuel pump come on. That's an in-tank fuel pump for the Sniper EFI. Fires right up with the EFI. Even in the cold weather we've been having here in Connecticut, where it gets down to 20 degrees or even into the teens, fires right up every time. So the Sniper EFI is certainly adds a modern running ability to the engine, so it actually self-adjusts to keep the engine running optimally in pretty much all conditions. So if it's cold or if it's hotter, the Sniper will automatically adjust to keep the engine idling at 800 RPMs, and it'll keep the air-fuel mixture within its target range at all times. So if you kick the AC on and the engine is under load because of the compressor, the EFI will actually automatically raise the RPM to stay at that 800 RPM level. So check out the interior on this. We have some extra gauges and switches added to the vehicle. So you can see the VDO gauges. We have some auxiliary switches here, and an excellent option for the hot weather in Dubai, air conditioning. And it's about 60 degrees here today. It's March, and I'm gonna go out and test out this AC on the highway and see how it does. It's been really too cold to test it out before, so I'm gonna take a run down and see how the AC feels at the highway speeds. So this project has been, like I said, a lot of firsts, and all of these items have come together to make a vehicle that's completely unique. I can say with absolute certainty that there is not another NADA Series 3 with EFI fuel injection and a Defender 5-speed anywhere in the world at this time. And this vehicle is built to last. All of our galvanizing package has been applied to it, so there's really no corrosion issues that are usually associated with the aluminum skin on the steel frame. So this vehicle has been built to last, and it's built to drive. It's really ready to hit the road or the trails and just enjoy for years to come.